Good evening, and thank you for joining us. We are going to begin tonight with that breaking news on one of the darkest days for the U.S. military in more than a decade. As troops were overseeing the evacuation, twin suicide attacks near the Kabul airport killed at least 12 U.S. service members. 15 others were wounded. At least 90 Afghans were killed, 150 wounded. It was exactly the type of attack that the State Department had warned about. The first bomb went off just outside the airport's Abbey Gate, where crowds of Afghans had gathered hoping to get inside for a flight to freedom. The second not far away at the Barron Hotel. That's a staging point for Americans hoping to evacuate. Well, a short time ago, an emotional President Biden paid tribute to the troops who were lost and had a warning for ISIS-K, the terrorist group that claimed responsibility.
We will not be deterred by terrorists. We will not let them stop our mission. We will continue the evacuation.
The president also vowing to press on with the evacuation, promising to rescue Americans and Afghan allies with just 5 days until his deadline for withdrawing U.S. forces. Well, we have a team of correspondents covering every angle. CBS's Charlie D'Agata is going to lead off our coverage from the region in Doha, Qatar. Good evening, Charlie.
Good evening to you, Nora. Tonight, Afghanistan is on a state of high alert. Kabul hospital is dealing with all the wounded, while many are wondering whether today's attacks are just the start of a campaign of violence. Chaos and carnage as back-to-back bomb blasts tore through packed crowds at the airport. First, at Abbey Gate, the entrance guarded by U.S. Marines. A gun battle broke out, followed by a second blast at the nearby Barron Hotel, a gathering point for American evacuees and others trying to get out. The number of people known to have been killed is still climbing, but graphic images from the scene show countless bodies of victims lying in a sewage drainage ditch. People raced to save survivors using any means they could find. Witnesses say a suicide bomber walked straight toward the entrance gate before blowing himself up. There was a very strong and powerful suicide attack, he says, in the middle of the people. Many were killed, including Americans. The Pentagon said tonight U.S. troops were vulnerable as they were in close contact with the crowd trying to escort people into the airport.
This is close-up work. The breath of the person you are searching is upon you. While we have overwatch in place, we still have to touch the clothes of the person that's coming in.
Tonight, ISIS claimed responsibility, posting a picture of the alleged suicide bomber. The Taliban, responsible for the security around the airport, condemned the bombings. Yet, despite specific warnings from Western intelligence agencies that an attack was imminent, Afghanistan's new rulers were incapable of doing anything to stop it. The bombings have not only complicated the evacuation plan for remaining U.S. citizens and thousands of service members, for Afghans, it confirms the darkest fears of what's to come once American forces pull out for good.
And Charlie, I understand there were more explosions at the airport. What can you tell us?
Yeah, well, that's right, Nora, and you can imagine that has sent jitters throughout the Capitol, but we understand from the U.S. military that they're actually blowing up ammunition stores rather than transporting them back home.
All right, Charlie D'Agata, thank you.